Blackpink's newest world tour is gradually winding down, and truthfully, every destination thus far raised worries that split fans on social platforms. Between wardrobe mishaps that had fans working overtime to defend the girls and audio issues that turned some shows into pricey karaoke experiences, the entire affair radiated chaotic vibes. Amidst all the drama surrounding what should have been their pinnacle moment, the looming question is becoming increasingly undeniable. Is this rocky tour a hint that Blackpink might be poised to part ways, or will they somehow manage to regroup and deliver the Blackpink we've been eagerly longing for? The Deadline tour started throwing up major warning signs from the instant WG Entertainment unexpectedly dropped the news out of the blue, prompting many to feel as though they were witnessing a company rush to act before it was too late. Rather than generating excitement, with a comeback like any other top-tier group does, YG outright announced stadium dates without a smidgen of new music to support it, instantly putting Blinks on edge regarding the entire undertaking. Netizens highlighted how the whole tour setup appeared to be a desperate money grab, and fans weren't hesitant to voice their frustrations, especially when it became clear they'd likely receive recycled performances from events they had already witnessed countless times. Naturally, it didn't help that YG later disclosed they would only introduce precisely one new song during the tour instead of the complete album comeback Blinks had been pleading for. They attempted to frame it as a significant moment for fans attending the initial shows, as they'd be able to hear it live right away. While some found value in the gesture, others felt utterly let down. What made everything even more dubious was how YG appeared to be acting with an unusual sense of urgency that contrasted with their typical approach. After keeping the girls on precarious ground for nearly 3 years as a unit, suddenly there was a rush to get them performing. It didn't take long for fans to piece together the potential contract expiry looming on the horizon. Some netizens speculate that the Deadline tour was YG's strategy to extract every final cent from Blackpink before possibly losing them for good. Eternally, which is precisely why everyone's now doubting what's truly happening behind the scenes. The tour itself didn't help YG at all when it came to restoring fan faith. And if anything, it only deepened many of the worries that have been simmering within the Blackpink fandom for years. Night after night, the same problems kept cropping up in various places with fans, leaving the shows feeling more puzzled than pleased about what they had just experienced. The performances that were meant to remind everyone why Blackpink is so loved instead led many to wonder if the girls even wanted to be there. And that's definitely not the kind of vibe you want when you're aiming to show that your group still possesses the magic. The synchronization issues that have haunted Blackpink on past tours sadly made an unwelcome comeback. This time, it seemed even more apparent, because fans had been anticipating the group to return more powerful than ever. Rather than the flawlessly coordinated performances that shot them to global fame, in the beginning, viewers were witnessing performances where it seemed like the members were executing entirely distinct routines to the same track. The energy was all over the map too, with some members going all out, while others appeared to be conserving their energy for something else entirely, creating a bizarre disconnect that made the entire production seem hurried, which many had already anticipated. Things took a notably low turn during their Los Angeles show, where their rendition of Jump became the focus of heated online debates for all the wrong reasons. Fans who had spent astronomical amounts to attend were instead given a performance that felt more like a practice session with timing flaws so glaring that even casual viewers from the nosebleed seats could spot them. The most discussed moment was when Jisoo, who is generally viewed as one of the steadier performers in the group, was seen on camera clearly struggling with her lip syncing during a track that's been part of their setlist for years. The clip skyrocketed to virality almost instantly, not because it was especially shocking, but due to how it encapsulated the overall atmosphere. Their playlist for quite some time. The video spread like wildfire right away, not due to any extreme revelations, but because it truly represented the prevailing mood of a tour that seemed to be held together more with wishes and hopes rather than proper planning and professional execution. All these concerns have left fans questioning whether what they observed isn't just a badly managed tour, but potentially the onset of the end for Blackpink as we recognize them. The uninspired performances, the hasty organization, and the overall impression that nobody's heart was truly in it have ignited some rather uneasy discussions about whether the members are already mentally checked out and merely going through the motions until their contracts come to an end. To many, that's what the Deadline Tour was ultimately about, BLACKPINK meeting their final legal commitment to YG. This anxiety was only heightened when a viral social media post sent the whole fandom into a full-blown frenzy on September 10th. An unnamed Kpop news account on X posted a claim that BLACKPINK will not extend their contract with YG Entertainment following the tour, without providing a single shred of evidence or referring to any official sources to support the assertion. Naturally, the post took off across social media, leaving supporters entirely torn between those who viewed it as a possible conclusion to years of poor leadership and those who brushed it off as yet another unfounded rumor crafted to incite drama. What complicated the situation further was how the speculation resonated with the frustrations that had been simmering within the fandom for years. Some fans actually felt a sense of relief at the thought of the girls breaking free from YG's infamous hands-off management of their careers, while others became anxious at the idea of never witnessing all 4 members perform together again if they ended up dispersed among various agencies. Neither YG Entertainment nor any of the BLACKPINK members have responded to the rumors, leaving everyone speculating about the group's forthcoming choices. The prevailing fan reactions to the contract rumors have unveiled something fairly troubling about BLACKPINK's current situation. For numerous Blinks, the idea of their beloved group departing YG isn't the catastrophic scenario one might assume. Rather, there's been this peculiar mixture of relief along with the sadness, as fans have begun to view contract expiration as potentially liberating the members from what many view as prolonged corporate disregard and internal fandom toxicity. The sentiment that YG has been restraining the group instead of offering support has increasingly surfaced in fan discussions, with numerous voices openly expressing relief that the company might finally be releasing control over artists they evidently struggle to manage effectively. Surprisingly, some of the most loyal fans have reached a state of utter emotional fatigue. The comment sections are brimming with longtime supporters confessing they've lost interest in whether the group stays united, with many indicating they only desire the best for the individual members at this point. Nevertheless, all the bleak speculation might actually be entirely misguided when you consider one crucial fact that seems to have been overlooked amid all the dramatic theorizing. BLACKPINK already extended their contract for group activities back in December 2023. If this was yet another 5-year renewal agreement typical for idols with YG, it indicates that, to put it mathematically, we're far from the conclusion of their group journey. And this current tour is definitely not some last goodbye before they vanish for good. Netizens even assert that things begin to appear even more absurd when you recognize that BLACKPINK is bombarded with breakup rumors every time they engage in anything group-related, which implies that perhaps the issue isn't actually with the group's sustainability, but with an overly apprehensive fan base that's been conditioned to anticipate the worst from W's tumultuous management approach. To some, the fixation on interpreting dark omens in every minor detail has reached nearly humorous extremes, especially regarding the tour's title, which some fans have begun to view as a looming countdown to the group's disbandment. Others contend that WG's decision to select that specific name was likely an effort to convey how much commitment and energy they've invested in bringing this tour to life, not some secretive declaration that they're intending to dismantle their most lucrative asset. Conversely, even if the breakup rumors are entirely unfounded, there's still a rising sentiment among longtime fans. It seems that BLACKPINK may be essentially finished as a collective, no matter what any agreements state in writing. The truth is that the members' increasingly successful solo careers are offering them less incentive to prioritize group efforts that appear to sap more energy than they excite. Some fans have been strikingly candid about realizing that the sharpness and intensity that once made BLACKPINK's performances exceptional have noticeably diminished over the years, implying that even if they technically remain together, the height of their group synergy might already be in the past. The solo career aspect adds another complex layer to this conversation, as history has repeatedly shown that individual triumphs often lead to the disbanding of a group. Critics have likened this to situations where Justin Timberlake eclipsed the rest of NSYNC and Harry Styles utilized One Direction as a springboard for his own career. Analysts suggest that this phenomenon is fairly consistent. When members begin to savor personal fame, the group dynamics invariably shift to support those solo pursuits rather than enhancing collective achievement. In the realm of K-pop, This means solo agendas often take precedence as they can be more popular and easier to manage. In BLACKPINK's case, the members have been refreshingly candid about how their solo careers have become journeys of personal liberation and self-exploration that their group activities simply didn't allow. For example, Jennie has mentioned how her solo endeavors have helped her grasp the distinction between being a performer and being an artist, while Rosé has described